plain as your nose that they're the one and only truly original Panther Pink Panthers from head to toes, and they shagged the racist tuners.
Do you really not know what that's from?
No.
The Pink Panther?
I don't remember the theme tune to the Pink Panther. I know the show, but I don't remember how the theme tune goes.
It was, yeah, that was pretty good. So yeah, you even said it in.
I ever am in it. So
well, yeah, I mean, your cadence was actually pretty good. So yeah, that's considering you didn't know what you were saying, you actually did pretty well.
Young outside back Charlie Staines has already had a mention in the show, but he deserves his mention for 4 tries on debut. Was it debut?
Debut, yeah. Yeah, it was, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, 19-year-old coming into the side, doing that, you're going to be giddy as anything, aren't you?
Yeah.
Jaw ache or not. He's got a jaw ache from telling all his family about how great all his tries were, hasn't he? That's the issue here.
I mean, to be fair, there was some fantastic centre play inside him that really set him up. He was, wingers, sometimes unfairly get maligned for just dropping over the line, and I'm not saying he did, but the attacking play from Penrith in this game was out of this world.
So he's named on the team sheet as playing in the centre, but he obviously played on the wing as the game went on.
He played on the wing, yeah.
So did Phil's cousin Brent play in the centre then?
Yeah, so Brent Nadine played in the centre. Because they had Edwards at fullback, Nadine at centre,
and Mansour and Crichton on their usual.
Mansour and Crichton. Crichton is an incredibly good player. I really like watching Crichton play. I think he's fantastic, and that kind of new breed of centre is a fantastic player. But yeah, Panthers were all over him.
You've got that sort of powerful, athletic, but also incredibly skillful combination on that left edge for the Panthers, haven't you? So they're gonna create there, even if they use one of Crichton or kick out as a dummy. The other one's got so much range in their play that they're gonna threaten. And then, I mean, Mansour didn't score in this game, but then you've got Josh Mansour on the end of it, potentially.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
I've got to say, I mean, Naden, he's been kind of fitted in kind of here, there and everywhere as kind of covering for injuries and stuff. But he's looked very impressive. But yeah, the one downside with the Panthers is that they conceded points against a poor Sharks team for me. They've still got this kind of slightly soft underbelly for me, the Panthers, which might stop them ultimately winning it. But when they're in the mood, they can just blow anyone off the park. They really can. So
yeah, they're going
good win for them.
Sure. What was next?
So next one, we had players on both sides in this one. So it was the Broncos 26 against the Bulldogs 8. So both Herbie and Luke played in this one.
Yeah. Herbie probably didn't make a huge impact. He did okay in the game. Again, his wing seems to be the one that gets targeted in defence, but it's also the side of the field where you feel the Broncos are maybe slightly more threatening, even though Azarko on the other wing scored two tries in this game. They were kind of, one of them was a big kick chase, weren't it? That was just out of nothing. That really took the stuffing out of the Broncos. Out of the Bulldogs. I thought Azarko's first try, to me. But Luke Thompson is our mate Luke. He's the main talking point, I suppose, from our point of view, isn't he? In this game, one sort of weak shoulder barge aside, he was impressive on NRL debut.
Yeah, there was definitely a bit of trying to make his mark. I forget who was it. Was it Pangai?
Pangai. He was absolutely brilliant in the game. Like, I'd have been getting pissed off if I was in the opposition side against him, because no matter how many people you put on him, he got offloads away. The offload that he got away for Azarko's second try, wasn't it? Was absolutely ludicrous. First of all, what was a prop doing out in the centres? And second of all, how did he get that ball out, and how did he elevate himself out of the field of play and get it back inside? It was brilliant stuff. But so I'd have been getting pissed off of him as well if I was a forward on the other side and wanted to give him a smack because nothing else was working against him.
No, the only thing that works against Pangai is he tends to get banned every other week. So that's the only thing where he tends to not influence again. But Broncos looked a bit better, but they're not. They weren't up against much. The Bulldogs, obviously Thompson is an addition, and I'm sure when he gets settled in, he'll do great things for them. But they just seem to be lacking. They're just lacking so much quality, the Bulldogs.
Yeah, I mean, Thompson played big minutes, didn't he? He played, I think, 45, 50 minutes straight, and then came back on for the last 10 or so. Even though he didn't quite get 100 metres, didn't quite get 40 tackles, he was involved a lot.
He was.
I think he seemed to do a lot of dummy runs. Or decoy running. He did a lot of sort of the in between the dummy half and the first receiver kind of runs to just try and draw a defender a little bit. Kind of those runs that probably weren't expending a huge amount of energy, but still demonstrated he had a presence on the field. Yeah. Look, he was an addition. He made their pack feel more robust, even if ultimately their skill position players offered very little.
Yeah, you've got to say with Thompson's addition, they're kind of there or thereabouts with their pack now. For Talamaran and players like that, and Elliott when he's fit, obviously he's got quite a serious injury, but their pack is there or thereabouts. Where they're lacking is their skill, as you say, is their skill positions. They're very thin in certain places, and there are certain players who are, foreign and the like, who are past their best.
Yeah, foreign's past his best. Wakeham is just one of 3 or 4 players that they can play alongside foreign, but I don't think they know if any of them are really top grade. And then having Dalin Wateni-Zelezniak playing at fullback when it's not Dalin Wateni-Zelezniak who played in in a New Zealand shirt, he doesn't offer what you need from a creativity point that Hopewhite offers. And I also don't think that Smith and Montoya in the centres give much for their wingers either. They're both individual attacking threats in their own right, but I don't think they offer much for their wingers overall. Either, and so it just all boils down to where's your creativity for them,
which is why they're struggling.
Yeah, because you're up against a good pack on the other side, and Pangai Jr. and Haas were both excellent.
They were. It was the Raiders 14, Storm 20. Hodgson had a try assist before something happened. Whitehead, another strong showing with 120 metres. Both Williams and Sutton played as well.
Yeah, I'm surprised we didn't get any fan views in on this one, but especially around the Josh Hodgson injury. So ACL, done for the year. It's his other knee, so not the knee that he did playing for England a couple of years ago at the World Cup. It's his other knee, but very serious looking. Other Bailey Simonson also got an injury after. It was sort of insult to injury or injury to insult or whatever, because he'd had a ridiculous sin bin in where all that happened is he turned around to go towards
and
the
knocked
ball
into the fox,
and because he's not as fast as the other player who ran into him rather than the other way around, he was sin binned. It seemed ludicrous, but other than but he got an injury as well, didn't he? He's done his shoulder. He looks like he's out for the year too. Injuries are piling up for the Raiders. They're missing John Bateman still at the moment. Corey Horsborough's out for the year. We all saw what happened to Sia Soliola's face last week. So
yes,
it's going to be rough for them to get towards that top 4, which I think you need to be to make an assault on the grand final.
Yeah, unfortunately, their injuries are piling up now, and in some very influential places. You know, the pressure's on Williams even more now, probably.
I'm going to say controversially, but it depends on what sort of calibre player they can bring in, because Havili can't play 80 minutes at hooker every week, I don't think. But it depends on what player they can bring in, either from their own system or from elsewhere on loan or something, to complement and play the 9 role with Havili, split time with him. But I actually think Josh Hodgson, as important as he is sometimes too important to this Raiders side. And the game the other week against the Eels, when they came back into it in the last 10 minutes, was because Hodgson started giving the ball to Williams, not because Hodgson started doing everything himself. And I think Hodgson's made quite a few bad plays this year by making the wrong choice, by backing himself rather than backing the very talented ball running halfbacks that he has at first receiver either side of him. So actually, I want to give some glimmer of hope, but you can't be too. I don't want to be too much on that train, because Hodgson has still been fantastic for the Raiders in the last 4 years.
Yeah, the trouble is that Jack Whiten's also a bit in and out this year, and that you can't have them both, their form fluctuating as much as it is at the moment.
Well,
and that is
Clockstack hasn't really created any as much either, has he? He's been responsible for quite a few poor passes to his wingers, or past his wingers.
They just, I mean, last year was kind of everything went right for them. This year they're just a little bit off, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. And I actually think if you watch this game without the scoreboard, you might have felt they were the better side. I mean, Elliot Whitehead had his no try where he was so close to scoring, just couldn't quite get to the try line after making a great break. That was one of the countless occasions, I think, where the Raiders just lacked a little bit of luck and a little bit of composure. And it's almost like the Storm played worse but executed better, and it feels like that is every win against another good side that the Storm have. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Look at last week. A case in point in many ways, isn't it?
Yeah. So I don't want to say the Storm didn't deserve the win. I don't want to say that they were lucky as such, but they did get away with one here because they dropped a lot of ball, but the Raiders lacked the composure at times to.
Yeah. The Storm always fall back on process, even when they make mistakes. Teams like the Raiders don't. Their fundamentals are not strong enough consistently to just fall back on process like the Storm do. So that's where they come up short occasionally, unfortunately, because they're reliant on brilliant individuals, and when they click, they can look like world beaters, but if they're a little step off, they're not quite there.
Yeah, but the Storm can be a step off and still be quite there.
Yeah, because that's why they're frustrating, and that's why everyone dislikes them intensely. Into Sunday, 2 games that I watched but didn't particularly enjoy. It was the Knights for the Eels 10.
Yeah, David Hunter said, I was proud of the toughness to hold on, but the Eels will have to be better. The home side were kept in it with the lack of attacking flair from the para-halves and some luck. And Joshua's granddad said, well-matched game, could have gone either way. Video referee call showing clear offside by Knights for what would have been an equalising try shows why every game needs a VR. Couldn't understand why the Eels left it so late before even setting up for the 1 point, even then the execution was poor.
Yeah. Did you see this one?
Yeah, I did watch this one, and I think it's a combination of the Eels missing a key part of their side, and the Knights being a really resolute side this year. That kind of gave this sort of balance to the game. The Knights aren't going to be a team that too many sides, no matter how creative you might be, will score big on. So when you're missing key parts of your creativity, and on top of that you've got one of your star players dropping the ball every time he touches it out in the centre,